everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Caroline and it is so nice to meet you. And if this isn't your first time here, then welcome back, and I really appreciate your continued support. So today is going to be our third Columbia Q&A. So I have a bunch of questions from you guys. Thank you so much for commenting, and let us just jump into the video. As always, ta-da! Let's do this. So the first question that we have for today is from K Tang. He says, "Hey Caroline, thank you so much for the video, smiley face. I was recently admitted to the class of 2024 at Columbia College. Congratulations. This video was super helpful. As an international student from Asia, I'm wondering how the transition to college in the US will be like. Do you have any advice for international students? Thank you." This is a really great question because Columbia has a really large international community which contributes to its great diversity. Really one of the reasons why it is so fun to be at Columbia, because you get to meet people from so many different places. And so I'm actually not an international student, but I have a bunch of friends who are, and I reached out to them for advice and they gave really great advice. So I'm going to share that with you now.
One second, please.
This advice comes from my friend Sean. He is an international student from Singapore. My biggest piece of advice for a freshman coming in would be to go to ISOP, and ISOP is the International Student Orientation Program. I mean, it's great to meet Americans and everything, but ultimately some of my closest friends at Columbia are people I met at ISOP. It's really great to meet a bunch of people who are going through the same international experience, which leads into another thing. You'll find yourself explaining yourself a lot. Ha ha ha. Because you've had such a different experience from the average American kid. It almost got annoying during NSOP and stuff, but I learned to embrace it. So NSOP is the new student orientation program, and I made a vlog about that as an orientation leader, so you guys should check that out and come back, or check that out after this video. Also, ISOP is an early move-in, which is great. So ISOP happens before NSOP, and so it's a pre-orientation program. Yeah, you guys get to move in early, and it's not too crowded because NSOP move-in is a lot of people are coming in, so ISOP should be a good choice. So yes, ISOP. Also, another thing is that America is less hierarchical than East Asia, at least in terms of your interactions with faculty. He cold emailed a professor and got a job at a lab as a first year with no research experience. He wouldn't dream of doing that in Singapore. As a first year student, you're not expected to have extensive research experience in the past. What's really great about Columbia faculty is that they're really open to having undergrads in the lab to help out, to start their own projects even. That's a really cool thing about studying at Columbia. Living in New York City was fine because he's from Singapore. Minor adjustments were spelling and pronunciation. It's crazy how different American and British English are, and you don't realize it until you get here. And he actually spelled realize with an S, and so in American English you spell it with a Z, so that's like a small point that it's just very interesting to see how these minor spelling differences even can make you aware of the differences in culture. Also in UW is University Writing, which is the first year writing seminar that all Columbia College students take. He learned that you're expected to be a lot more direct and active in American writing, not the passive academic language he was used to from Singaporean or the British influence. I'm so happy that I asked around for your advice, because these like experiences and these observations from an international perspective is something that I would have never realized unless I spoke with someone or unless I experienced it myself. So thank you for that great advice. I also asked another friend, her name is Abby, and she also gave me some great advice. So her advice was kind of on transitioning to college life in New York City. She says, go explore the city, try new things, join more clubs, take interesting and random classes, and also sleep more, because there's gonna be so much stuff to do in New York City. You're gonna need to make time to sleep, and you're gonna need to make time to study. So it's gonna have to be a balance between those things. But don't worry, you have 4 years in the city, you're gonna have time to explore. So I asked her about some differences between what she expected and reality, and maybe differences between school in Asia and here, and she says she didn't really have any expectation coming into Columbia, so everything was interesting to her. A difference would probably be that the Columbia curriculum is very well-rounded. She says that in Asia, if she was a CS student, which she is, she wouldn't be doing so many different things outside of her major. A very holistic experience. So you're not only dabbling with your science side, you're also dabbling with your creative side and your writing side and your humanities side. So that's really cool. Hopefully that was really helpful. Hopefully it gives you an idea of what maybe to expect as an international student coming to America and studying at Columbia. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions or if I can expand upon anything or ask them more specific questions for you. So thank you, Sean and Abby. Alright, next question. This question is gonna be from Steven, so...
I think it's Steven. Is it Stefan? Let me know if it's Stefan.
Hi, these videos are so helpful, thank you. Also, I got in. Congratulations. I just had a couple of questions. Is it true that many professors do research and leave teaching to grad students? If it is true, how is their teaching? Also, if I don't really know what major I want to pursue, are there people that can help me decide? Is the competitiveness cutthroat or collaborative? Thank you again. And he says that, sorry, I know these questions are all over the place. No, I really appreciate it. I like the quality and the quantity of questions, so thank you for that. To answer it chronologically,
is it true that many professors do research and leave teaching to grad students?
from my experience, actually, the professors who are listed as the professors for the course were the people teaching. Maybe for some classes there will be more graduate students teaching, but from my experience the lectures are actually taught by the professors. So for example, my physics professor now, he is running his own lab at Columbia and he's also teaching the General Physics 2 course. So regarding graduate students, what they do teach is the recitation sections. And so for big lecture classes like Intro to Econ, like Intro to Bio or General Physics or General Chemistry, you're going to have a lecture or a couple of lectures during the week, and then you're also going to have one recitation section per week. And a recitation section is basically a smaller version of that big lecture class. So in a lecture class you might have over 100 people or nearly 200 people, but your recitation section really supplements it and you only have around like 15 to 20 students there, and that's really where you get to ask questions, go over, review for exams, and ask your TA specific questions. For biology, actually, the TAs are undergraduates. So really depending on the course, I know for some data structures maybe, or an intro type CS class, some of my friends are actually TAs for those classes, so they're undergrads too. All in all, you get to experience both the professor teaching and your individual graduate or undergraduate TA teaching. So regarding the quality of the teaching, from personal experience, I think it's pretty great. I guess perception of the quality of teaching might differ based on the individual student and also the individual professor or TAs. Oh, TAs are teaching assistants, just in case that wasn't clear. So it might differ based on the learning style and the teaching style. I think regardless of the style of teaching, regardless of your perception of the teaching, it's important to learn how you learn the best. That takes practice too, so don't worry if you aren't really sure about that.
Also, if I don't know my major I want to pursue, are there people that can help me decide?
So yeah, we have academic advisors at Columbia. These advisors are people that you can go to if you have questions regarding registration, regarding your interests. They can help you kind of navigate which courses you want to explore and maybe how that might tie into your future career goals. We also have the Center for Career Education, which is the CCE.
Or the CCE, which is the Center for Career Education.
And they have a lot of career consultants there who can help you figure out what you like. They can help you build your resume. They can help you kind of find different internship opportunities. Make sure that you are actively seeking out these resources because they're there, but a lot of people don't know about them, and because of that they might not know that they have access to them. So let me know if you want me to do a more comprehensive run through of the resources that Columbia offers for, I guess, academic growth and professional growth, and I can do that for you guys. And regarding the major you want to pursue, don't worry. You can come in undecided. You only have to declare your major at the end of your sophomore year, so you have 1.5 or 1.75 years to declare. And that's for CC. For Columbia Engineering, the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, you actually declare a major a little bit earlier, so the fall semester of your sophomore year.
Is competitiveness cutthroat or collaborative?
This is a great question. From my experience, it's been pretty collaborative. The people here at Columbia, we're all students and we're all just people, and I think we all understand that. And so it's kind of like we're all in this together, we're all trying to get good grades, we're trying to learn as much as we can. A lot of classes in college are going to be difficult, and it's really important to surround yourself with the right kind of people. In these classes, it's really important to find a support system. It's pretty helpful in terms of knowing how to study and being able to reach out, and maybe you miss something in class and your friend can share notes with you or things like that. It's really great to be able to have friends in all those classes that you can kind of touch base with and study together with and collaborate with problem sets on, if you're allowed to, that is. Working together not only makes the material less intimidating to approach, it also just college is a time to make friendships and form these bonds. By being collaborative rather than cutthroat, it enhances your college experience overall by a ton. Hopefully answers all of your questions. Let me know down below if you want to ask any more, if you want me to expand upon any of them, I'd be happy to. So the next couple of questions are going to be kind of related. They're both related to being pre-med at Columbia. So the first question is from Rhea, and she says, "Hey, I love your videos." Thank you, Rhea. I was just admitted to the class of 24, congratulations, and I'm debating between Columbia and USC, very different. I was wondering how manageable pre-med is at Columbia, especially with the core. I think that pre-med is definitely manageable at Columbia, and Columbia definitely has a very strong pre-med program because of our pre-med advisors. I'm not sure if this is at every school, but Columbia has a group of academic advisors who focus on helping pre-medical students apply to medical school, kind of guiding them on their track, on what courses they should take, and things like that. And our pre-med advisors are super great. They send out a great deal of opportunities and internships that are available that you could get involved with, and they're just overall very helpful. They know what they're talking about. They're very experienced and knowledgeable. For your question specifically with the core curriculum, it consists of a specific set of classes that you have to take, along with a few global core electives and perhaps foreign language requirements that you have to fulfill. And these classes do take up a big fraction of the total credit requirement needed to graduate. Generally speaking, a lot of pre-medical students are in majors that are related to being pre-med. So that really helps to guide them on their track to apply to medical school, and it gets all the credit requirements done for those different majors and maybe even concentrations. And so I don't think you have to worry about being pre-med at Columbia with the core. If anything, I think the core really helps pre-medical students. I think the core actually enhances the pre-med experience. It allows you to get a really well-rounded and balanced education, and you're going to find that you're going to be able to apply a lot of the skills that you're learning in these core classes to being a medical professional, to being a healthcare professional. Yeah, that also ties into the next question by a nice Z. So she says, "Thank you, Caroline. This video was really informative. I just got admitted into Columbia College yesterday. Hashtag class of 2024. Congratulations." And she says, "I'm interested in majoring in the humanities while on the pre-med track. Can you speak to the experience of balancing a humanities curriculum with pre-med classes, and possibly to the experience of anyone you know who graduated from Columbia on the pre-med track and what they are doing now?" This is a really great question, and again, it ties into what I was kind of referring to before, and it's really great that you're interested in having such an integrative experience in the humanities and in the sciences and in medicine. And so I personally always really love the sciences. I love biology, chemistry, physics. I love doing lab work and dissecting lab stuff. And I also really loved writing and journaling and literature, and I loved languages. And I remember that in high school, I was often told that I would have to make a decision between, one of the two fields. I was always kind of frustrated with the fact that I had to decide between those two, because I always found that they were so compatible and that there were so many similarities between them, but a lot of people just see the differences, right? But I think Columbia really embraces this interconnectedness between the two disciplines. I actually declared my major this past week, or I guess officially declared it, I don't know. So the major that I'm declaring is very similar to kind of what you're asking about. I'm not exactly sure which part of the humanities you want to major in, but I'm actually majoring in, that's supposed to be a drum roll, medicine, literature, and society. Kind of like a medical humanities type major. And so I think it's really manageable. I also have a friend, she's an English major, but she's also pre-med. I have a friend who is a history major and she's pre-med. I also have friends who are science majors and they're pre-med. As long as you love what you're doing and you enjoy the major that you're choosing, don't just choose it because that's something that you think that you should be doing or that someone else wants you to be doing, but choose it really because you're going to be the one taking the classes in the major and fulfilling the requirements and putting in all the work to get that degree. So do it in something that you love and do it in something that, you hope will help you in the future.
The experience to anyone you know who graduated from Columbia on the pre-med track and what they're doing now.
I think the number is around 80% of Columbia undergrads take a gap year, 1 or 2 gap years after college before applying to medical school. They might be doing research in a lab, they might be gaining clinical experience. Some people actually apply directly, and so they matriculate into medical school the fall semester right after they graduate, and so they'll be in medical school. But then a lot of people actually do things like consulting. They go into tech if they're interested in CS, maybe biology majors or bioengineering majors. Biotech consulting is also a big field of interest, And on the pre-med track, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to apply to medical school. A lot of people figure out after they've taken certain pre-med classes that maybe medicine isn't the career choice that they want to pursue. And so they shift gears, they maybe take some classes in different fields, and they are ultimately able to find something that really suits them. I hope that answers your question. Hopefully that was clear. Let me know if it wasn't, and I'll try to elaborate more or be more concise. Sometimes I babble, but 'tis okay. These are actually all the questions that I have prepped for today. Some of the other questions, like talking about the undergraduate requirements and the undergraduate colleges and their differences, might take a little bit more time, and I think this Q&A might be a little bit long already, so I'm gonna save that for another video. So thank you so much for watching this entire video. I really appreciate you staying until the end. Let me know if you like this video by hitting the thumbs up and subscribe buttons and turn on the bell for notifications, please. And also comment down below if you have any other questions, follow-ups, clarifications, advice for me, suggestions for videos or vlogs or anything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!